Let's use synthetic division to divide these two polynomials. The tricky thing about this problem is that if you look at the first polynomial, it's actually missing a term. Whatever your highest exponent is, so in this problem our highest exponent is 3, you should have one more term than your highest exponent. So if I have an exponent of 3, I should actually have 4 terms in that polynomial. So I can see that there's one missing. And it happens to be the x squared term. So really what is happening is there's a plus 0 x squared term in there, but it's unnecessary to write. However, when we do our synthetic division, it is necessary to write that 0 as a placeholder. So I'm going to set this up. I've got my synthetic division. Remember that this thing that we're dividing by is a factor, not a solution. So we do have to switch the sign. You can think of it as if we're setting x plus 7 equal to 0 and I solved it, I'd be subtracting 7 from both sides and I'd get negative 7. So if you're given a root, the sign stays the same. If you're given a factor, you have to switch the sign. All right, now I have to put in all of my coefficients. So my first coefficient is 1. That's what's technically in front of x cubed here. Remember that we were missing our x squared term, so I have to put a 0 there as a placeholder. Next would be negative 53, and then negative 25. All right, so now let's actually do our synthetic division. So drop down the 1. I have to multiply numbers that are on the outside. I'll put my answer on the inside, then we add. So negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Now I add down. 0 plus negative 7 is negative 7. Now I multiply again. The negative 7 that's out in front times this negative 7, positive 49. That goes inside. Now I add down, and I would get negative 4. Now I multiply one last time. Negative 7 times negative 4, that's positive 28. And then if I add down one last time, I get 3. So this time we didn't get 0 as a remainder. What that means is that when we write out our final answer, it's going to have a fraction at the end. There are some times when you have to get 0 as your remainder. This is not one of those times because we weren't told that negative 7 was a root. All right, so my question, my first polynomial is x cubed. Every time you divide out a number, your polynomial decreases by 1 degree. So what that means is that my first term, this 1, is going to be a coefficient for x squared. And then we just work our way down. So this will be x to the first. The negative 4 will be our constant term. And then whatever's left over is our remainder. And remember that your remainder always has to go over what you divided by. So that'll be over x plus 7. All right, so let's write out our final answer. We have 1x squared. So I'm just going to write x squared minus 7x, and it's technically x to the first, but I'm not going to write the exponent, minus 4, which is our constant term, so it does not have a variable. Since our remainder is positive, I'm going to write plus 3, and then I always have to write it over what we divided by, so x plus 7. So this right here that is in red would be our final answer.